Hey everyone, this is Chris, the Enforcer Vasquez, and you're listening to Comic Clowns Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Gab Radio Network, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Twitch TV, and various other podcast streaming programs. And don't forget to submit your ideas for Enforcers Edibles. And as always, Hail Hydra!
Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Comic Clowns Podcast. This is Bruce War, Chief Hoover.
Mark, the Dwarf Kokiacher.
Chris, the Enforcer Vasquez.
Kyle, Darth Cooch, Cookenbecker.
Grant Gracchus, 4047 Kohler.
And Nick the Minuteman Clark.
And we're back here in my lovely, lovely basement that has not updated in the past 20 minutes.
No.
You mean week?
Yeah, week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we don't do this in one sitting because we have lives.
I mean, we talked about this before. We did lose a Denny and a Birdie.
Well, Birdie's somewhere.
He's outside.
He's out there.
He's outside. Denny sobered up from the Honey Jack and left.
Birdie's not in his cage anymore.
So I figured this nice week here, we'll start talking about some games. Now, the reason why we were so happy to have Mark back is we had a conversational point that Kyle brought up.
He's back.
Me, because I brought this conversation up like 2.5 months ago.
We did, yeah, you did.
And every time
We still
Mark
didn't.
Mark's like,
couldn't make it.
No, I want to talk about this. Don't talk about this without me.
Wait! Quick!
Dwarven Rage!
Dwarven bitch, more like
But we
it.
can't hear it,
exactly.
it was too low.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and I figured we'd start talking about some gaming. Mostly also in was it in memory of Evo 2017 going on right now, or
That happened?
at the recording that had happened. That we just didn't know about.
No, it seemed really small this year.
Like I watched some of the I saw like I was watching Super Smash last night, and like the room seemed packed, and then I went over to Street Fighter, I think it was, or something else, and it was like the room was packed there too. I'm like, there didn't seem like a lot of hype and a lot of buzz, especially because they have some really good fighting games that are supposed to be coming out.
You would think with
Yes.
Tekken 7 just coming out, Injustice 2 just dropping, there'd be a lot more hype around this.
Capcom versus Marvel.
Well, that's
Marvel
not
vs.
out,
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. It's coming out.
It's coming out, right?
Like in a
but
month
they
or
also
two.
have the
Promotions.
playable DBZ fighter.
Oh, jeez.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
like, there's so many fighting games
All
that
right.
came out.
If we haven't had a chance to cut that yet for you guys, if you have not taken a look at the DBZ fighters yet, oh my lord! If you ever played Guilty Gear or seen Guilty Gear, it is Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it going to be a very solid game.
It
in my
looks
eyes.
really, really crisp.
And
Don't
like,
forget that we have Battlefront 2 for Star Wars coming out also.
I mean,
Modern
that's
Warfare.
that's kind of like
Modern Warfare.
Warfare.
I mean, that's
yeah.
coming out as well.
It's out. They're revamping it. It's not. It wasn't as good as the original one that was on PlayStation
Oh.
2,
Oh, no. It
No.
wasn't.
and it was really disappointing because we got all hyped up, all bought it, started playing, and it's just not as good.
And by all, Kyle bought it.
No, I mean,
Right, yeah.
I know.
Tony and Tito bought it, too,
I know,
to
yeah,
play
but
it,
yeah,
but-
you guys all got onto it, and everyone was all so excited. And then, but my first thought was originally going to be like, hey, this is just going to be Call of Duty with Star Wars. And I guess that's what it came out to be. And I wasn't personally excited about it.
and it didn't have like the good classic Star Wars maps. I mean, you weren't fighting on Kashyyyk. You had like one little Hoth map. It's not.
Yeah.
They changed the rules of the game. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to fly around in a vehicle or a fighter, find the token.
Yeah.
Like, was it the only good part of that whole game was watching Luke Skywalker force push someone off of a mountain right
Yes.
into a TIE fighter?
Yeah.
That YouTube video is classic right now.
Great video.
So I think it was Darth.
Or
No, it
Boba
was Luke.
Fett being
No, it was Luke.
It was
yeah.
Luke.
Or Boba Fett being chased down by Vader and just getting stepped on by an AT-AT.
Oh, that was great too. Oh man. All
He was
right.
like, no.
But yeah, we'll touch on. I mean, there's nothing else other than that, but fighting games that are coming out right now that are like I know they're revamping Shadow of Colossus,
Yep.
Yes, they are.
and that's literally. Except for we already talked about Darksiders 3 coming out in the future. I mean,
Yep.
literally, there's not a lot to hype on right now, except for DBZ fighters in my world. I'm happy that I'm doing a playthrough right now of Diablo 3's Necromancer pack, and it's not enough for me to keep in the game. it's more or less I just want the achievements for having it and just doing it. I'm like, okay, yay. And then like, wow, this character's really fucking broken. All right, this
Yeah.
seems really easy. This is too simple
I mean,
to
I'm
win.
playing through the Final Fantasy 12 remastered. It's really good. I love the combat system that Final Fantasy 12 used.
And it's just cleaned up with like the more modern technology stuff, or what they do.
Yes, but it's also the Zodiac Age version, so
Okay.
it's the European release, so you're getting only 2 jobs classes per character. You can't spec out everyone to be God.
Gotcha.
So there's a little more thinking involved.
That makes it sound better.
It is. It really is.
Because it's just too easy to
But-
make people God out.
They did add something amazing.
What'd
A
they do?
fast forward feature. So now you can run at 4 times speed or 2 times speed. So you're not bumping into everything.
That is
Instead
awesome.
of the long walks at normal speed that took 20 minutes to get there, now it takes like 3.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I like that.
That's helpful.
So
Yeah.
your 4-hour mega fight with Zodiac, you can put that at 4 times speed if you have all your gambits set, and it could be done in like a half hour.
That is awesome.
Wow.
So it's making it much more playable.
So when's the next release for Final Fantasy 14 coming out? I want to know the story of Lightning.
Oh, jeez.
No one cares about that.
Yeah, no.
I know friends that have, and I've watched my friends get like married in those games, and it's just like okay, you know what? I did play WoW and everything, and I go back to it every once in a while, but I've never dwelled that hard into it. So there's gonna be a lot more that we're gonna have to take a look at. And for some reason, I now have someone coming downstairs asking about some stuff.
I believe she just said your father was here.
Yeah. He knew that we were doing this and that we were going to be. I'm fine. Building a patio for those who need to know. He's giving us. He's been helping us. Been a big help. And we need to work. We're going to work on it after we're done recording. Well, by we I mean me and my dad and Birdie. Everyone else is probably going to hide.
Oh, jeez.
I think it's well deserved.
But
Yeah.
other than that, we move on over to some different games. What's going on? What is going on in WoW right now?
Well, I think it was about a month and a half ago, patch 7.2 came out, which was basically the Tomb of Sargeras raid, where we go through the tomb, we push the Legion back, and then in the end, we actually end up on the pretty much the Legion Star Destroyer in the end, because that's pretty much what it is, since we're in a Star Destroyer in space over Argus fighting Kill Jaden.
Nice.
And that is pretty much the end boss. And it's like, okay, it happens. Then the cutscene happens. It's like, our fates are now one. Argus will be your tomb. So in other words, Illidan holds the ace in his hand. Says we earlier in the expansion we retrieved the Sargerite keystone if you played as a demon hunter, and he opens up a portal which basically say, all right, Azeroth's right there, take us home. They go home and find out apparently Illidan did a rift in space. Now there's a giant rift in the entire universe where Argus is right there.
Nice.
Because from what I gathered, it seemed like Khadgar and everybody else just wanted to push the Legion back. Like, just put him in the corner. Let's deal with it another time. Illidan's like, no. If you want to end this, we got to go there and take care of it. And with patch 7.3, with the hype, we're actually going to Argus. This is actually going to be a legit thing. And there are rumors going around about the next expansion actually in the works, like a rough idea of what it could be.
Okay. Do you think it's going to be a new expansion or just a new patch?
They're throwing out hints of possibly going to Kol Taras in Azeroth, which is basically where Jaina Proudmoore came. Because if you remember in the beginning of Legion,
She ran away.
She was never been in the expansion, only in the beginning. So it makes you wonder, where's she been this entire time? So this might be an expansion with Kol Taras and possibly the old gods that are still left in the world that we still have to take care of.
All right. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. WoW's going to be around forever and a day. It's never going to go anywhere.
Nope.
MOBAs have been having a hard time holding my interest to begin with right now. Personally, all MOBAs. I've tried Neverwinter, and I got pretty far in that, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
You mean MMOs?
It's like I don't play it
MMOs.
anymore.
That's what I said.
MOBAs don't interest me whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't mind MOBAs aren't bad.
Like the only thing that's really keeping me with World of Warcraft and all that is pretty much a story for how because they're doing it very well, unlike how they did it in the very beginning, like with Vanilla and Burning Crusade, where it was just like, oh, there's this bosses here, you got to go kill them. No, with the expansions after that, they actually made it more of a story, like it's more driven for you to do it, because especially in the cutscene with the end of the Tomb of Sargeras raid, we actually learned out that it wasn't all black and white with Kil'jaeden and the Prophet, because Kil'jaeden, before he dies, he pretty much looks at Vel and he's like, I've always been envious of you.
Yeah.
I never believed that Sargeras could be stopped. Perhaps you will prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Kil'jaeden, because those old gods, they all, or the Kil'jaeden and all them, they all became like demons, and they didn't have to. They chose to. Velen did not, and that's why he's like, we took of the power, you did not, and I'm jealous of you for making that choice effectively. All right. I said we were gonna talk about something else, and I forgot what it was off the top of my head.
Other than that conversation, I
Yeah.
don't remember the...
Yeah, let's have that conversation. Kyle, go ahead, bring it up.
So, back on my birthday, I bought a Switch.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite great. So I bought Breath of the Wild naturally, and within the first weekend had 30-plus hours on that game. So my brother was going to work one morning. I'm sitting there running around Hyrule. Gets back from work about 8 hours later. I'm sitting there running through Hyrule. He's like, how the fuck are you sitting there and you haven't moved all day, have you? I made lunch. But
Pea bucket's full.
But it's like, what makes gaming a game that enthralling that you can sit there for 8+ hours, 5+ hours, whatever free time you have, and sit there and spend it on a game instead of trying to do something productive with your life?
Because reality sucks, and well, we're all miserable people.
I'm gonna say your brother can start to answer that question now that he's picked up Diablo 3 himself.
Right.
No, he only plays like an hour and then he stops.
Wow. What self-discipline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Not even playing a demon hunter. Dang.
No. He started off with a wizard.
See, I don't know. For me, I guess it's always been, as you said, it's an escape from reality for me. The game has to take me somewhere. It has to be, and then it has to be hard enough for me to want to beat. And one of yours and mine personal favorite games is still Grandia 3. And it's not normally a game you'd think you'd associate. Once you start playing it, it's not a game you'd associate with myself or Kyle, like, at all. At all. You would not look at us and go, you guys would play this. But the combat, you attack, and in most games, you attack and then you run back to the spot you're at. No, you attack and your character goes somewhere random because the field is effectively 360. It's a circle versus just being like from forward to back. So I like it the fact that I don't know where my characters are going to show up, and my AOE's don't follow that character.
Yeah,
I can nuke this area, but during that cast time for that spell, everybody can move and get the hell out of the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's actual randomness to combat versus, and then you can start like tag teaming all of your attacks, like knock someone up in the air, and you do a regular move. Your people will do attacks with them. I've juggled one person for all 4 people just to keep
Nice.
them up in the air and knock them down.
Very nice.
It's fun.
Is this like some sort of like an open world sort of thing?
No, it's
a JRPG.
Yeah, it's definitely JRPG.
Very linear.
It's completely linear. The only
Yeah.
thing, the crafting for spell system was fun because you knew the spells you wanted. It was just finding the damn spells was pretty difficult.
Right, no,
you
I
had,
gotcha.
you had to remember what they were, and then. But one thing I didn't like about it was everyone was pretty stereotypical. It's like,
Yeah, the
all
story
right.
sucks.
Yeah, it's like everyone's pretty stereotypical. Oh, well, that chick's dressed in white. There's my healer. Oh, you have your boobs showing and you're a caster.
There's my black mage.
There's the black mage.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you hit with a flail and you can take a lot of damage. That's my tank. And you're the main protagonist of the whole story. Definitely highest DPS in the game. Got it.
Sure hope
This
he
is it.
doesn't have a tragic backstory.
He doesn't.
Doesn't.
Doesn't he?
No.
His brother's Satan.
No.
Wrong game.
Our white
Oh,
mage's
Grandia 3.
our white mage's sister brother
yeah,
is Satan.
Okay. We're talking about Grandia 1?
No,
Three.
three.
Right?
Jesus.
Oh.
So
I remember that part. I didn't sleep through the whole game.
No, that was
no,
two.
that
We
was
played
two.
two.
That was
We
two.
played two.
Okay.
But if you want to learn the story of Grandia 3, Bruce and I are trying to start speedrunning this to attempt to submit it to the Games Done Quick thing because this game is not on their main database site.
Really?
And
Really?
The times we've seen are it's 5 hours.
It's
Oh, jeez. Okay.
it's 5.5 hours is the world record right now by a Japanese runner. His name starts with an H, and that's as far as I'm going with it.
But yeah, no, that's what keeps me enthralled. The story has to be fun. The combat has to be interesting. Like I can't do like Skyrim for that matter, but that starts turning into an MMO in my world, and I kind of I stop. I stop every time. I've never beaten Skyrim. I've gotten to almost the same point every time, maybe a little bit farther, but never gotten to the end of that game.
I beat Skyrim because of deployment.
Yeah, I beat Neverwinter Nights 2 because of deployment.
8 months at sea, you'll get through anything.
Yeah. Skyrim Oblivion was out when I was on deployment, so I had Oblivion to play and Neverwinter Nights 2.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion?
That's what I said. Oblivion and Neverwinter Nights 2.
No, you said Skyrim Oblivion.
That's what I said.
Same game.
It's all the same shit. What about you, Mark? You were very intermittent into this conversation.
Yes, when it comes to games, for me, I really get into like the Dynasty Warriors games, even though it's the same freaking game over and over again. No matter how many numbers you put on the end of the title, it's still the same game. You run around with an OP, main character wiping out hordes of enemies, but
And piss your pants when Lubu shows up.
yeah. But it's also the same. It's the same missions too. They never really changed the storyline from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Everybody knows what battles are which and what your type of mission is supposed to be. And it's like, well, why do you keep coming back to it? Why do you keep buying the same game over and over again? Are you hoping that the graphics are a little better, or they changed up the characters' move lists a little better, or something?
They had a few more generals.
Add Lubu's daughter.
Add Lubu's daughter, yeah. So they added.
Bitch, I want to rule China repeatedly.
I want my main characters to have less clothes and bigger swords.
Right. Yes.
It's anime logic.
Exactly.
I guess it brings back. It just brings back nostalgia of like I remember when it first came out with crappy graphics, but to us back then those graphics were the shit, and now
Yep.
the graphics have improved and the timing has improved. Also, now my friends can also play along with me. I can even create a pseudo character that doesn't even exist in the world and just have it as my own, which is pretty cool.
You gotta love that game. You're the only person who ate their Wheaties that morning. That's the whole concept.
Really?
It feels like you're the only one that woke up that morning. Gonna go kick some ass today.
Some ass today. But yeah, no, I mean that's one of the many great examples. Along with every fighting game, to me, is like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Tekken. Again, the same type of gameplay. You're fighting each opponent. Yeah, the storyline's a little bit different, but it's the same game that you've had before. Why do you keep coming back to the same game? Nostalgia, maybe? I really don't know. It clicks to me. It's part of my life. My friends can come over and actually play with me if they want to challenge me at a fight here or two, or if they want to join me into battle. It's just one of those options that I can interact with friends and I can still reminisce my childhood and escape from my troubles for the day.
It's because no matter how many times you do it, having Batman beat the shit out of Superman and Injustice never gets old.
It never gets old. It never gets old.
What about you, Chris?
Well, me, honestly, I find myself going back to a lot of the PS2 games. I find myself being a lot of like classic gaming now. And it's because I play all these games on PS4. I enjoy them. Some of the stories are good. The DLC content is kind of worth it sometimes. When I go back to these PS2 games, when it's just everything in one shot, no downloads, no extra extended shit, and I like that. I just get so engrossed in those stories that I know that I can recite by heart.
And you have to be good at them to unlock all the good content.
Yes.
Yeah, it's they say people with like that have like depression and things of that nature, going back to something more comfortable that you're used to, like watching a movie that you've watched 400 times, that helps calm the soul.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm with you on that one. I can say that. That's why me and Kyle and Tony and you still play Heroes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we've never finished them, we barely finished maps ever when we played the damn game.
We never finished maps back in the day.
Oh no, we never did. We always
No.
forget where we're at or what we're doing, and like we have to start all over again. But it's what we're going for. It's like what keeps us driving. Like, what about you, Grant?
For me, I think it's mostly depending on the game itself. Like example, this goes back to World of Warcraft. I mean, I don't play as often as I do, but the reason I keep coming back to it is because it has such a rich story to it. And for me, story is a good part of it because I actually want to see. It's like, oh no, it's not just going to kill the bosses. You actually see the suffering and the situations, the consequences that you have to go through as these characters that you've leveled up with, in a way. And as far as
Until you buy the 100 boost, and then
then it becomes worthless. Anyway,
yeah.
But as far as for other games, I think for me a good one would be the Total War series created by Creative Assembly, which is basically a lot of real-time strategy gaming.
Yeah.
Love RTSs.
And it makes me think it's like you have all these factions that you can play as, both on the campaign map and then the battle map. Makes you wonder, it's like, all right, if I choose this faction itself, how would this happen throughout the game itself? Like, what decisions would I have to make? This makes you think, like, maybe 5 steps ahead. It's like, do I want to take this city, or do I want to form an alliance with this neighboring faction of mine in order to get the main goal? And on the final thing, I think it goes back to actually playing with a couple friends, mainly for Nick, Bruce, for Heroes of the Storm, because for the most part, when we're gaming, that's mostly the only time I'm able to game with you guys, especially out where I live.
So going back to Total War, one of the reasons I love that game is how can I rewrite history today? I purposely will pick the side that lost throughout history and see if I can't just rewrite everything.
Yeah.
What's that? The Shimadas beat Nobunaga?
It's like, wait, Carthage beat Rome? How'd this work?
Napoleon didn't get defeated?
Don't tempt me.
I was gonna say, Grant, like you actually probably wouldn't mind playing Might and Magic with us at some point.
Grant would really like that game, I
It's the
think.
same concept because like when we played that game,
Is that the one you streamed I think it was from when this came out about a couple weeks ago with Birdie?
yeah,
Yeah, we've streamed it a few times with Birdie.
All right, I watched it a little bit when I had a few minutes left at work.
okay. So you got to see shirtless Birdie.
Were you
didn't
the one
get- I
telling
didn't get to
Birdie to
that
take
part.
his shirt off?
No,
Oh no.
Okay.
Sure.
Double checking. Double checking.
that's a different conversation. Anyway,
It's like not then. That time I didn't tell him to do it. I mean, not then. But
So we're going to look at Grant for a second to saw.
later.
But no, you'd enjoy it. Honestly, it's town building, it's structural building, and me and Kyle have been finding ways to try to challenge ourselves in it. Like the map we played that night, we literally put me and Kyle like on the front lines. We formed an alliance. It's 3 versus 5, and we put Birdie like in the far back corner, us in the front line. It's like, all right, the computer's set to heroic, and it's 5-on-3.
Save Birdie.
Protect a Birdie.
Protect the Birdie. Let's see if we can actually see if what happens if they roll through us first.
Okay, so this is sort of digressing a bit because at first we had
Kill the
kill
Birdie.
the Birdie. Now it's protect the Birdie. All right, which one do you want here? Do you want to save
Yeah,
him or
Protect
kill
the
him?
Birdie. He's our PR manager.
I'm not gonna lie though, like me and Kyle were like, we got this. This is
Yeah,
not hard.
it's-
And then actually, Birdie has a bigger army than both me and Kyle were like, wait a minute, what the fuck just happened? I feel like we just got screwed on this one.
Yeah, we're kind of losing out on this one.
It's like, save the birdie. That's nice. What you guys doing?
Oh god.
That's adorable. You think you guys could do something?
What about you, man?
Outside of a few games that I've gone back to replay because it's been years and I can rebuy them on Steam now, like Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
I wanted to replay that because it's been so long and I kind of wanted to do it all the way through because I thought Andromeda would have a cohesive storyline. It
Yeah, how'd
doesn't.
that work out for you?
I'm not regretting the time I played the other 3. I actually haven't finished Andromeda because they don't have any storyline DLC. It's all going to be multiplayer.
It's all multiplayer DLCs.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
gonna hurt.
it's
And
very
the
very
multiplayer
sad.
is not that good.
Nope.
For what it's supposed to be. it's
Anthem
not
what?
that-
It's the same as the third Mass Effect.
I
It's
wish
the
it was. No, I
it's-
wish it was.
You know what?
the
You're
same.
right. I wish it was too. Because the third Mass Effect multiplayer game was actually pretty freaking decent.
Yeah, they fixed that. They're releasing a new game called Anthem. That's where all their good devs went.
Yeah.
Ow.
Why?
Money.
Because money.
Wait.
Anti-Destiny.
Why did they go there, or why did Kyle have to burn you?
Why'd
like
you have
that?
to burn? Yeah, why'd you have to hurt me, Kyle?
Right here. Right where we live.
Kyle-
Right here, man.
Kyle's playing his love games.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we talking about being burned while you're wearing Vader?
Yeah.
But okay, another example of games that I'll play constantly would be the sandbox survival games that I've been taking a look at. Used to be Rust. Now I'm doing Ark. Aside from the fact that you can have dinosaurs, I mean, what more do you need in life? Just ride a T-Rex.
You want a motherfucking
Pretty
T-Rex?
cool, yeah.
Ride a motherfucking T-Rex.
Or you can do Arc.
Just do an Ark.
He does do Arc.
It does.
said
You
Arc.
do
You just said
yeah.
Arc.
So or you
Said
can do
Ark.
Arc,
Or
right?
there are a couple of multiplayer games that have come out recently that I'm really enjoying, like Friday the 13th. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that it's random if you get to be Jason or not.
Oh.
But it's that little moment of fear or excitement. You're like, am I going to be Jason? Am I gonna be I am! I'm not! I'm screwed!
Oh, jeez.
Because it's a good game. It's fun for multiplayer, and it's completely free form. It's not like Dead by Daylight, where the entire purpose is not die and get the fuck out. In Friday the 13th, you have 5 options usually. You can either call the cops and wait it out and escape from the exit. You could find a boat or a car, fix them, and get the fuck out. Or you can kill everybody else because you're a team killing Russian, and everyone does that shit.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
The
true.
Russians kill all their teammates.
Hey, how
Or
nice.
the 5th option is if you want to work really good, if you can work well together, lots of coordination, you can kill Jason.
You can.
And it is the most terrifying thing when you're Jason, when you realize what's happening. You're like, oh, wait, you got a sweater. Tommy's here. And you're coming at me. Oh, you sons of bitches.
When all of them comes at once.
Okay,
I can't handle
I got
this.
a question for you since you've been playing that game. Is the run walk factor really a thing? Where as Jason, you are just walking, and no matter how fast or far they run, you still catch them like it's nothing.
Well-
there is, only because there's different Jasons, because they're different
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
Some Jasons are automatically just faster. They can actually like jog run after you. But you get basically, have you ever seen Evil Dead?
Yes.
Yes.
You ever seen when the evil travels?
Okay.
You get to do that as Jason.
Oh, nice.
Or you can actually just open up your map and warp anywhere you want to.
Yeah,
instantly.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you depending on what type of Jason costume you're wearing or what movie version of Jason, they have different abilities. And the original Jason actually moves a little faster, but then it can also like jump right in front of somebody, like warp into a location to where somebody like thinks they get away, and then you can just show up in the side and like, I made it. Freaking choke them, lift them up, and then just like freaking
Well,
choke
if
slam
you're enjoying those games, what about Evolve?
That's the problem with Evolve. The execution of Evolve was trash. Okay, so the point of Evolve was you have 4 hunters chasing down 1 monster. If you were the monster, you wanted to survive long enough in the match to get strong enough to kill the humans. But the problem is, almost every hunter, if the team wasn't full of idiots, would be on your ass in the first 60 seconds of the map. Because you don't spawn that far away, you're not that fast, and they can track you. You can't do anything to hide your trail. So most matches usually ended within 5 minutes of them killing monster. If you were a good player or god lucky, you could make it to the very end where you're level 3 and they can't touch you. But you have to make it to level 3, and it was almost impossible.
It was a very difficult task.
Oh, it makes it easier if you want to buy a different monster. You got $30 per monster. That was the
That,
problem.
that leads into the other conversation
It does.
for another day.
I was going to ask you, what about Smite?
Oh, I love Smite. The reason I like to keep going back to Smite is that, yeah, it's like League of Legends because it's the same gameplay. Like, there's no getting away around that. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Except you
like,
can use a controller.
It's MOBArific.
yeah, you can use a controller. It's a little
Fuck
bit.
MOBAs.
It's a little bit easier to see on the map where your enemies are at. I mean, you can't look behind you too well. That's the only unfortunate thing. But it's like okay, I can see a pretty good portion. I know where the enemy is coming from, so that's a little bit easier. But the reason I keep going back to it is that I really enjoy playing as ancient gods for some reason. Yeah, I like League of Legends. You get like these original thought characters that have a great lore and storyline. That's kind of like
Original, unless you talk to Dota.
Dodo. Yeah, let's talk Dodo. Yeah,
Wukong.
but I mean, yeah, Wukong. Yeah, like the one freaking character that is very unoriginal. But as an ancient god, you get to play a specific class of warrior, assassin. Same thing as League of Legends, but it's great because you know the lore, you know who these gods are. You just want to see how the hell they would actually fight each other in a real battle. That's what's actually pretty cool about it. I was like, you know what? I always thought about who would kick whose ass in a fight between two gods. Yeah, it's like, if I call upon Kali to go beat the shit out of Hades, how well would this turn out?
So
Okay.
it's a God version of Heroes of the Storm.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
That's the thing right there, man. You're not winning because if you lose, you're a scrub, and if you win, you're just a cheating
You're
bitch.
just a cheated bitch. Or you get called a hacker because apparently
Scripter?
Well, yeah.
Apparently, if you decide to play as Ravana, who is the Hindu god of martial arts and has a crowd control immunity, where all three of your enemies starts to hit you at once, along with the tower, and destroy the tower, survive everybody, and just run to the other side of the map without dying. You're hacking, not pure skill. So
He's playing as Udyr.
I'm playing as Udyr at this point. I'm the god deer.
But let's be honest.
I'm gonna fuck all y'all
Oh,
up.
fuck all y'all.
If you're playing the game, if you're playing as Zeus and you can't fuck the other gods, are you playing Zeus?
No.
You know what? Actually,
That should be a passive.
I'm going to say this right now. Zeus rapes everybody. Just
Literally or metaphorically?
literally and metaphorically, he is raping everybody because he plays as he is a mage character, and his moves are so derpy that even if he hits you once and you run away, he's gonna sit there and just go 3, 2, 1, and then lightning bolt from across the map, and then you just die. And I go, that's some bullshit.
So Zeus is the white mage.
That's Zeus.
That's Zeus, though. And
is
I thought
bullshit.
that is perfect for Zeus, because that's exactly what a Zeus would do in reality.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It makes sense, which is why I love the game. Some of these gods are spot on. Odin will fuck your shit up.
He calls down a thing of area where he just jumps right in, and then you have to fight him one on one.
It's an arena. Yeah, he calls
Creates
upon-
an arena,
He creates
and
an
you have to
arena,
fight
and you're stuck in there.
Excellent.
And your enemy, and then their ally, the enemy team that tries to help, can't get through it, but your allies can get through the arena and help you out in the arena
Dear God, why?
because it's Odin.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, that's pretty cool and all. Jarvan from League of Legends does the exact same thing.
Yes. Again, it's not.
I know. It's a joke because it's people do that. I mean, what about let's say mobile games for that matter? Like, what mobile games have ever brought you guys back? Like, because I've been trying to play a couple and I just can't keep playing them. Like, I lose interest.
Mobile
in,
games are just
I have a game called Marvel Future Fights.
Yeah, I got it. I
Yeah.
still don't keep playing it.
I do. I keep playing it all the time. I don't know why. I keep going back to it. It's something I somehow come up with a game a strategic game plan of I need to build up this character to create this type of team to OP in a tournament. That's pretty much what my theory is. It's I want to see how well I can do with this 3-man team.
Personal competition.
It's a personal competition, yeah. I want to see how well I can outbeat myself from yesterday to today.
I just play puzzle games. Make me think.
Sudoku.
Or why do you keep going back to playing Angry Birds? A majority
don't.
Of America. Not anymore, because it was a fad at one point. I don't know if anybody plays that game anymore, but
No, it doesn't exist.
It's like Pokemon Go.
it sounds like
in a
Pokemon.
way.
Oh, Pokemon Go. Great example. Why do people still play Pokemon Go?
Because they did the update that they originally announced that they were going to do at the beginning of the release of Pokemon Go.
You mean a year ago?
A year
Yeah.
ago? So
Now it's what it's supposed to be.
now it is? Okay, because I don't really see too many people actually get hyped up or... really
Their
appreciate
numbers jumped up a lot in the past month.
it. Oh, okay.
It's been going up.
All right,
Yeah.
well. that
Okay,
makes
there's
sense.
one example of a mobile game. I'll have to find the name again because I don't have it on my phone right now. But
Mobile
it's-
Legends.
No, it's a space exploration game. It's a grid system, and it's a completely randomly generated game every time you restart it.
Oh, nice.
It's a deep RPG too. Like you have a ship, you have some resource management, crew management. Every planet has politics, so depending on what race you chose and what ship you're flying, people could love you or hate you. And you can either do pirate rating. It's for what this game is. If this was a AAA title, it would dominate the universe. It's
Okay.
It's like a better version of Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Without
Okay.
the 6 years of your life going down the tubes because someone blew up your
I mean,
ship.
I mean, I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess plenty of people still play, Clash of Clans, even though you got to spend a crap ton of money to actually get anywhere in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also one
Past tier
thing.
3, good luck.
Yeah, past tier 3. Yeah, good luck.
It's
Yeah,
like a lot of DLC is taking over the video game stuff.
Yeah, like
Well, yeah.
like we
Yeah,
said, for
that-
that's going to be another podcast.
That's a
entirely.
40-minute conversation
Yeah, it
right
is.
there, and
You're right.
itself right
Yeah.
there is going to be DLC.
Can we,
felt-
can we
felt
skip
relevant.
part of the conversation? Just say
Huh?
people who
It
enjoy.
felt relevant.
It did. It does because people because you're right on some of that. Like some people need to come out with updates to make their games relevant these days, and
You
like
mean some people come out with releases to make their games run because they release
Yeah.
it a year and a half early.
yeah, that too. I was saying just DLC as of late. Like you can't make the game relevant. The game's not relevant anymore, and so instead of trying to make something new, it's like
Yeah.
Like, that was
like trying to
I guess that was one of my questions, honestly. That was one of my other ones really quick, Grant. For your personal thing, like, when do you believe that, like, WoW was one of those people that I created a game, now I have, like, 10,000 expansions. When do you believe a game should be up for the expansion? Like, should start making an expansion? Like, or when do you think a game should stop and just get rebooted?
You know, I really don't know how to answer that because, to be honest, in my own personal opinion, I feel that Blizzard is actually doing a decent job as far as putting out expansions because it seems like from what I've been watching BlizzCons, it seems like every other year they're announcing a new expansion. So if we're getting at least a new expansion every 2 years, that's actually a decent pace, especially for what World of Warcraft has become.
Yeah.
But as far as putting out content constantly, like maybe 5 months every time a new patch comes out, there's some points, yes, they are lacking a little bit because Warlords of Draenor, that happened, and we won't go down that route. But if like they put out a good amount of content throughout it, just so that the story can progress in a way, that way you're not just sitting there twiddling your thumbs like, all right, I beat the expansion, now what? Oh,
Yeah.
another year and a half until the next one? Okay.
I can go try to do Arena, I guess.
Yeah.
I got a question for you then. You like Blizzard, and you got some faith in them for taking care of WoW. Do you think they could do the same thing for Overwatch, or is it doomed to be a dead FPS in a year?
It's doomed.
Why?
Why? StarCraft Ghost. Exactly.
StarCraft Ghost, the which character? Wait, what?
It's about
StarCraft.
It's about the
Oh,
game
StarCraft
it's about
itself.
the game that never happened? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Because StarCraft has completely died now. But StarCraft lived for 5-10 years really good as an RTS.
You got StarCraft 2. People are still playing the hell out of that.
But they've stopped, though. They were supposed to be 4 expansions for StarCraft 2. They released 2, maybe 3. But Ghost was supposed to be their FPS that was going to rule all FPS.
That's why they
I
just
see.
did Overwatch.
It died.
Yeah.
So I don't have faith in it because they don't really...
The way Overwatch is going right now, I think it will keep going for a little bit longer because they do the actual updates on it, and they do have that new league. They actually do have a League of Legends
They bring
like-
out new characters.
no. Like,
they have
saying-
an esports league.
Yeah, I'm saying they have an esports league.
Oh, right,
A
yeah.
complete esports league right now. And those don't usually die out. Once you've gotten that much attention and you're going through colleges and pro teams, most of those don't usually die out overnight.
Well, it's still going strong, and they introduced like 2 new characters. One.
Terry Crews.
Actually, no. Terry Crews.
I know it
Yeah,
wasn't. That was
it's
the
like, no.
joke.
That's not a joke. That's
That's not even a
sad.
joke. That's just sad. That really is a sad thing. No, yeah, pretty much everybody is really hyped up, or disappointed because Terry Crews isn't playing the new character, voiceover.
Yeah.
But what's going on is that it goes strong because people participate in tournaments.
Yeah.
I guess if you participate in a tournament like this on such a global scale, you're going to make the game last forever. That's how a game can survive now.
Let me ask you something, Kyle. And this was something that came up. We're talking about expansions and reboots and everything I want to. Mega Man X. That got to what? Mega Man X10, X12, it felt like?
I believe so, yes.
6?
X. It felt like a lot longer than that.
I think 6.
At what point did you think they should have stopped in that?
X.
I liked X2. I'll admit I did like X2. But at that point, when do you think you should stop and do a reboot at that point?
It's Mega Man. That you used the wrong series. Capcom hates Mega Man.
Mighty number 9.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
because Kenji of Infuante or whatever, he really screwed the pooch on that one.
I'll ask you then. Fighting games.
All right.
Street Fighter 4 went on for a good time. Ultra Street Fighter 4. Because
Yeah.
Street Fighter knows no bounds when it comes to
No.
Ultra Super Mega Quadruple Ultra Saiyan Street Fighter 4.
Tournament edition.
Tournament Edition.
Turbo.
Yeah, they do it. They just keep going and they keep going and they keep going. Now they got Street Fighter 5 going right now, and people are calling it lackluster, and they're just continuously now they're just like, okay, we got all these characters. Here's all your favorite characters, and here's some good ones. DLC for 5 more. DLC for 5 more.
Oh Lord.
DLC for 5 more. Okay, when do you think at that point do you stop and just create a new fucking game?
Right now. It's
Honestly,
What do you think, Chris? And you don't play fighting games all that often. That's why I'm asking.
no, but
I'm
it's
asking
the
him.
same for every series. It's once they start getting into that point to where I really want to play Guile, but now he's $5 more just so I can get the Guile pre-release.
Yeah, there's that. I'm saying that
No,
DLC. That DLC is another
but-
conversation. I'm talking about.
No, that's what I mean, though. When you're starting to use that as your selling point,
Yeah.
that's when you need to stop.
I mean, because I could see like what they did a good thing. They released Akuma. Akuma was something people thought you needed originally, but the devs said we want to keep it as a no. No, we didn't want Shoto characters. We don't want every fucking fight to be all right. Hadouken, uppercut. Tatsugatsu again. Like, literally, that's every fight. We don't want that. That's why we don't have people like Sean in there anymore. We don't have Sagat. We don't got every character that does that anymore. And I'm with that. But if that's what you're going for, what do we do with? When's the time just to stop? If that's what you're going for, and you didn't actually hit it when you first made the game. Because Tekken 7 came out and they put Akuma in the fucking in the first release, and he's not even a Tekken character.
No, he's not. I was surprised by that too.
You know what? The story they made in for him was amazing.
It was great.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knew about that, but Tekken, the Heihachi Mishima, you know, the father of the main character, Kazuya, you know, who's the father of Jin. Yay! Apparently, Akuma shows up, looks at Heihachi. He's like, "I'm here to kill you. Who told you to?" And he says, "Heihachi's wife, or old wife." He goes, "She's dead." She's like, "Yeah, she told me to do it. She told me, asked me to do it a long time ago. So I said I'm going to do it." And he goes, "Why didn't you do it sooner?" And practically just says in his own words, "I was waiting for you to become a challenge."
Yep.
He literally just goes, wait. He's like, "I was waiting for you not to be a bitch."
Yep.
That's pretty much the whole reasoning.
It's like, but I've been winning the championship for 7 years.
You own the championship. Shut up.
Oh my god.
My son became the devil and I whooped his ass.
Honestly,
Your son's half the devil, and then Jin's half a devil, and it got really weird. They're the demon fan. That's why I like Kazuya.
The devil gene. Yeah.
That's why I love Kazuya. Kazuya's the only dude that will whoop your ass in a suit and make it look good.
Kazuya Mishima. Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna call it right there. I gotta go. I got a deck to build, or with my
Patio.
father, a patio. I got some wood to put together and put down to a ground. Mostly dig holes right now.
Cool.
Next time we get together, me and Kyle definitely want to talk about have a DLC conversation.
Yeah.
And we want to bring that up, and we'll have more to talk to because we're going to be going to Wizard World as press. We just found that out today.
We're working on it. It's not
We are working on it.
100% official, but it's about 98%.
98. When the guy who's running it tells us he wants us to go, so we can talk to people. I'm assuming I'm going to go with it. And this is let us know in the comments when we put up the videos and stuff what you guys thought about us running it down here versus running it in the studio. Tell us what we can work on in that situation, and we'll definitely take it all into consideration.
Yes, please.
We love talking, and we like seeing our numbers grow. You'll see more streams from us, and it'll be a great time all around. Once again, for Comic Cons, this is Bruce Warchief Hoover.
Mark the Dwarf Kokiachuk.
Christy Enforcer Vasquez.
Kyle Darth Cooch Cookiebecker.
Grant Gracchus 4047 Kohler.
And Nick the Minuteman Clark.
And remember, as always, Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.